Starting off with a look, I'm going to use the Too Faced Primed and Poreless Primer. I think that's what it is called. And I'm going to use that on underneath my eyes, along my cheekbones, basically everywhere else but my T-zone. Then I'm going to use the Becca Evermatte Poreless Perfecting Primer. I know that is a mouthful. And I'm going to use that along my T-zone, which is basically my forehead, nose, and chin. I don't want to really correct too much with this look because I really want to try out this Hourglass foundation and see how great the coverage is, but I do have some really dark spots, and that is a bit much for any foundation, no matter how full coverage. And then I'm going to use some loose powder to go on top of that orange corrector just to set it. And then I'm using the Hourglass Warm Walnut. I'm going to spray some of the Smashbox Photo Primer water, which is going to help smooth this out. I really love it. It is great for any really creamy foundations or any foundation sticks. So far I love it. This foundation has gone on like perfectly. So far so good. Alright, and then I'm going to prime my eye with the MAC Painterly Paint Pot. Alright, and starting off with this eye look, I'm going to use the Huda Beauty Palette, and I'm going to use Sandalwood, and that is going to go basically in the transition area, which is going to be right underneath my brow bone and into the crease. And then I'm going to use that a little on the eyelid as well. So it's going to go like from the outer V, and then I'm going to work my way up. Alright, I'm going to use some patting motions to get this color in here onto the lid or eye, and then I'm going to use swiping back and forth motions to blend that out. Going back into the palette, I'm going to use the shade Suede, and that's going to go like right into the crease as well as into that inner V as well. And I'm going to use this as a halo look, so I'm going to go all the way over to the inner eye corner as well. Alright, I just want to add a little bit more of this suede color and then work on blending that out. So I want it to be on both sides of my eye, the outer corner as well as the inner corner, and then right there in the crease, and work my way up with that. Okay, going back into the palette, I'm going to use that black truffle, and then I'm going to use a small like pencil brush here, and I want to have a little bit of control, so I'm just deciding to use a pencil brush. Alright, so I'm just using just kind of short strokes. I want to have a V, so I'm really trying to shape a V here with that look. And then I'm going to use that on the inner eye corner as well, and then I'm going to go back with the brush that I used the suede with, and then I'm going to blend is the trick. Going back as in the palette, I'm going to use the Dubai, and I'm using a flat eyeshadow brush for that. And these shadows go on well with your fingers, kind of like ColourPop, or either if you wet your brush. So I'm using some of that photo primer water and patting that divide on the lid. I want to keep a lot of the darker shades like the black on the inner and outer, so I'm just going in between that on the lid. Alright, I'm going to use two different eyeliners. It's just easier for me to use a felt eyeliner, and then I'm going back over it with the Jordana cat eyeliner. Alright, going back into the palette, I'm going to use Suede, and I'm going to use a pencil brush for that. I'm going to go on the lower lash line. and just blending that color out here. And then I'm going to use the Stila black eyeliner, and I'm going to apply that to my waterline. Then I'm going to go back with that pencil brush, and I'm going to blend that out and just give me like a lower smoky eye look here. Kind of smoke out that lash line. Then I'm going to use the Lena lashes. This is Posh Lashes. Moving on to the rest of the face, I'm going to be using Bobbi Brown Warm Walnut. This is a cream foundation. I'm going to use a little bit of the Inglot Duraline here, and that is going to help break up some of that foundation and make it creamier and easier to apply. Alright, and this is pretty much kind of business as usual, so I'm going to bow out of this portion of the video and let the rest roll. Thank you so much for everyone for subscribing, for checking out my videos, for all your lovely comments and your support. I really do appreciate it. I hope you guys have a wonderful week coming up, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.